journey to share with us, especially with this being Men's Mental Health Month. I decided we're gonna end on a really nice note with letting this amazing black man share his story with us and allow us to be on here on KERB Radio Broadcasting. Thank you again, Miss Diva, Miss Fee, all of you guys with the different radio stations, different talk shows. I appreciate y'all for partnering up with me and allowing us to be on this platform. We thank you for all the things. We thank God. He's the one that's in control. And so, sir,
Yeah.
tell the people who you are. I already said your name is Mr. Seneca. So tell the people who you are first. I'm gonna let you do your introduction first, sir.
I'm Seneca Willoughby, uh, published author as well as international designer of Billionaire Cloth.
Okay. And so what does that mean, billionaire?
Well, it represents movers and shakers turning intelligence to wealth and fame. So I definitely wanted to inspire the consumers as well as the public in reference to not how you finish, but I apologize. But more or less, y'all get the gist. It's not how you start, but how
How
you
you finish,
finish.
right?
And yeah, and just wanting to be a beacon of light.
All right, I know that's right. Come on, Beacon of Light. So we always are transparent on Jess Talks. Y'all know this is a safe space. We not gonna judge nobody. We're here to just share this information with you guys. And so this shirt right here, this is a part of his billionaire cloth. Right here, it's the logo. It's the name of the business. You can go to the website right to get
Yes,
this. So, mm,
billionaireclaw.co.
all right. So spell it out for them because we like the people to be able to see it.
That's Brilliantire,
Mm-hmm.
cloth, CLOTH.
All right. And it's the same thing on Instagram as well. Y'all can find them on Instagram that way as well. I will be sharing that later on today or in the morning. Y'all will see all the things that y'all can go and tap in for him. And so he also is an author. Do you hear me? This man here has done it all. He is doing it all. He's a father. He take care of his children, like all of the things. So we are very excited to have him on here. Hey, sir,
Hey, 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 how y'all doing?
what's going on? So, this is Mr. Vibes, the co-host I told you
Okay.
about. He
Nice to
on
meet
here.
you, baby. Oh man, whole lot of you, a little bit of me, baby.
Hey, I apologize, man. I thought I could come in, hit the shower and be up there with you guys, but as you know, time gets away from all of us.
No doubt. But just appreciate your presence and checking in.
Oh yeah. I was checking up on you. I ain't mean to interrupt nothing, because I am highly interested on what you have going on. We appreciate you coming down and sitting with Jess and being a part of KERBonline.com, Jess Talks. And I know you have a story in your journey and doing this mental health month. So I'm anxious to hear it.
I appreciate that, man. I definitely want to share and inspire others.
And so we just gonna jump right into it. And when you ready to chime in, Mr. Visor, you just let me know, and I'll let you because I know he gonna have the questions for you, baby. You think I got some questions? That one there, that one, busting that podcast, baby. They got the questions. You hear me?
We got, we got
And so tell the people what's the name of this amazing book that you shared so many personal things about yourself in.
Yes, the book is titled 302, and it's associated with mental health. And 302 is one of the things that occur when you're mentally unstable and they assume you to be a risk to others.
Man, a risk to others. Jesus. So, with my law enforcement background, that is always you hear somebody talk about somebody's a risk to others. You are on 10,000. You
Yeah.
just feel like, man, let me make sure don't nothing happen on my watch. And so I could just imagine. And so tell the people what made you pick that title and why are you so passionate about mental health?
Well, it's close to me because it's associated with my mother and my upbringing, and just becoming aware of the challenges that she faced without having the terminology and the definition of the things that played out that I wasn't aware of.
Okay. And so, when was you aware that your mother actually had a mental illness?
Well, well, when you grow up in a house with them, you think everything is normal. But as I got older, I started seeing some of the challenges that I was faced with, and that really wasn't a concern or a priority to others, which made me then look to understand that, as a child, I should be nurtured and taken care of. And not to say that I wasn't, but I'm from North Philadelphia. And those that know,
Good. Good.
climate is cold.
What'd you say? Not just the weather,
Yeah, not just the
huh?
weather.
Shout out to Philly. I had some coworkers that I worked with in law enforcement that's from Philly, so
Okay,
that's cool.
okay. It's always love. 27th and Jefferson.
And my baby mother and my daughter from Philly, so that
Uh,
was my Philly tie.
okay, okay. So you family for real.
That's funny.
Street and Chester and running King of Prussia, running out through all through them little gaps and
Okay,
everything, man. Because I was gonna ask you too. Like I say, I checked out the preview of the movie now.
okay.
I say, man, this look like Philly. I say, this look like some Philly thing right here, man.
Yeah, definitely. As far as the trailer that you just mentioned, a lot of my projects are somewhat based off my true life because I believe that it's said that smart people learn from their mistakes, but wise people learn from the mistakes of others. So I try to be that example for, the youth and those that have yet to need to compromise themselves in any way just in order to make a gain in society.
And see that, and even with that right there, because I know you was explaining about growing up in the household with mom and mom mental health challenges in our community. We had the cousin or the sick person that we ain't want nobody to know about in the back room.
Yeah,
you know. And even if we did have any sick relatives or daddy going through some, grandma, mama going through some, it was highly overlooked because even though it seemed like the household was normal, it was very, very abnormal growing up like that. But
Yes.
we thought it was normal because we didn't have the proper outlets, in the black families to reach out to, or we was misdiagnosed.
definitely, definitely. And as far as my family, I would say that they paid notice to it, but I would say the steps of getting help was more or less forced upon as opposed
Mm,
to rationalized to see what she would feel comfortable with doing.
right.
So I do have an older brother, and yeah, I'm from a single family home. Never met my father, but those are the things that are, I hate to say that is common for the inner city youth. Being in and out of juvenile detention centers and getting in trouble early. Um, yeah, it was a lot of prayer and just and navigation.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you sharing that for real. Go ahead.
In the relations. I want to get more into you, man. Get more into Brill than the the book, the movie, the clothes. More into the person. Because people want to know whom they support or who they can resonate with. I saw your shirts, everything, and I say, man, that's a step. That's a step. I dug it. Especially when Kim folks who be like, "Hey, we got shirts like that." He brought some. I say, "I know it's got to be real." And I'm a promo person. So come on, back to promo. Tell your story, man. Tell your story. I'm gonna quit interrupting.
Yeah, well, I guess it's old to me, but new to others. Like I say, I got in the streets at age 7. Um, from going to store for $1 to holding the work, and then from there, with me being LeBron James sides, I guess I was a #1 draft pick in the streets. You know how it go. The older guys get the young guys to take the weight and the heat in the event something happens. So, and not to say that I didn't need it also. So it was one of those things that was like I made two negatives into a positive for the most part.
Mm.
And not that I ever try to shun away from them things, because those things help made me. And just when I got into juvenile detention, I did about like 18 months in juvenile detention for narcotics. And but I knew I wanted to graduate high school. So I made a promise to my mom that, regardless of how I go, I'm definitely gonna graduate high school.
Right.
So it was challenging. And, when your mom is, experiencing what she experiencing, and, being on drugs and not prioritizing the things that are, as a parent, deemed to be prioritized, it was a lot of me trial it was a lot of trial and error in that, you know.
Yeah.
But I definitely had to hold myself accountable, because at the end of the day, I grew up around a neighborhood that it was easy to point the finger at others, and, blame others in the sense of mishaps. But for me, being in the streets early, the only shorts they wanted to see was the ones you was wearing. Yeah. We ain't got no time for no excuses over here, and that
Right.
paper can't never be short. So
That-
at the end of the day, it was high risk. And but I always had God in there. So spiritually, I'm on a journey. Once I did get released, I went to Strawberry Mansion, which was, not at the time, but later on became the the worst high school in the United States, I believe. That was on 2020, and they did a report on it. But however, I was the first juvenile to transfer back into a public school.
Got you.
So through that, um, just wanting to leave an imprint and not, perpetuate the mishaps and the misfortune, I ended up graduating high school, and made it on to college. I majored in psychology and I minored in sociology. Just try to get more understanding of me and my environment and my family. It was like, all right, we're gonna figure this out.
Right.
And the only drawback was that I got in trouble before I graduated. So when I went to college, I was on a run. Um, I was supposed to come back after graduating, and for sentencing for a 5-year sentence. But it was like, if it was anybody else graduating high school, it was 4 years of college, 1 year interning, and then your life is on, the trajectory that you expect it to be on.
Right.
But for me, it was like, wow, I did all this, and now did I graduate to adult prison now? Like, it was like a dual-edged sword. So at the time, I had a high profile attorney, and upon his discretion, he just told me to go to college, and once I come home, we'll figure it out then.
Mm. And see, that's deep right there because being a man, we know women go through things and everything, but it's being more promoted that we need to take a look at how men navigate through all that we have to navigate through.
Right.
And everything you navigated through, was there did you meet anyone such as a mentor on your journey through all that, or a male figure that was positive, that stayed in your ear or kept in your ear, or was that journey just it was just hit and miss with that?
Well, like I say, with the journey being spiritual, reflecting on it, of course you run across security, people that you can take to. As far as in juvenile, it was this one guidance. I'm trying to see what was they told, what was they called back then. But yeah, it was one guy, yeah, counselor. Yeah, it was the counselor that was pretty cool. He was able to identify with me and peep what type of cloth that I was cut from. And he always promoted self-preservation. And
Right.
I never really knew what self-preservation was, but when you're young, you figure hanging out in the clique and having homies and
Yeah.
that's the norm. And it was like through his one-on-ones and just busting it up, he was like, Seneca, listen, you got to start being responsible for you. It's cool to have association with others. However, um, one man, one armband.
Right.
So that's what it comes down to. One man, one armband. Everybody got different release dates, and their problems can't be your problems. And the further that, once I got released from there, and I went to Strawberry Mansion, just so happened the principal was new at the school as well. So African American, by the way, and later on he shared with me that he felt that he was a bit in despair having a youth come to his school not knowing if I was going to be a bandit at it or just be full of hostility. However, later on down the line he let me know that he felt that if he had me he would have the school. So
Gotcha.
just being able to identify with certain male figures and being transparent really helped.
And so
So
I want to tap in and get into this book because look, y'all, it was a page turner from the beginning to the end. I started it last night and finished it last night. It was that easy of a read. It was like it caught your attention each page. Like he was always talking about something to jog your memory of what he said at the beginning, and it made the rest of the book make sense, if that makes sense.
Yes, it did.
And so at the beginning of the book, when you first see this big number out here, 302, it's
Yes.
like, okay, what is this? What is he talking about? And because I shared some information with him about me being more into mental health and that's my thing, he said, well, I wrote a whole book on
Yeah,
mental health. So
yeah. This
and
is actually the book titled 302. And it just touches base on my journey as well as, with my mother. And for me, it was family. Well, family for the most part, and I'm not going to put it on everybody, family, or project it that way. However, in my case, I was a bit isolated, or quote unquote the black sheep. So a lot of the issues that I had to endure, I had to go through and experience them by myself because of the isolation and not really identifying with those that seen the world the way I seen it.
right. Okay, I'm gonna say this because you said the black sheep. So, do you feel like even though you was around a lot of people, you was alone? Like you was surrounded but still alone, basically?
Well, I
Because you was
did.
always somewhere where a lot of people were, especially with what you were doing in that moment.
Well, of course, you can't let other people know what you're doing because you're too young to be doing it anyway. So,
Right. So let's jump into that. So, what were you? How old were you, and what were you doing? And to be too young to do it?
well, like I say, I've been in the streets since 7, and with my sides, it's like I always been like 6'4", 6'5". It seemed like I came out the womb that way. I think my mom told me I weighed 10 pounds when I was delivered. So
fellas.
yeah, so when you in the streets, those are some key aspects that to a older hustler can deem valuable. So with knowing that I didn't have a good family support system, I'm not gonna say I was taken advantage of, but
Most definitely second advantage.
yeah, but it was one of those things whereas they cutting the electric off from the front of the house. Like we can't even hide this shit no more. Like my fault, I didn't mean to cuss, but yeah, we can't even hide it no more. And I was done with being the butt of the jokes. When you're young, it's like everybody got a joke or a punchline, and
Yeah.
it's like I had an older brother, but he was in the house a lot. He wasn't in the streets like I was. For my mom to punish me, she'll make me stay in the house.
Gotcha. That was your punishment.
Knowing that, I need to be outside. I'm a mover and shaker for the most part.
What you got, Fred?
Nah, I'm just listening and processing because um, the story is mutual, you know, and throughout our us, black youth growing up and because everybody say, "Oh, my hood different from your hood."
Mhm.
Our hoods, from all the ones I visited and been through, we are all the same. The only thing that's different may be brick and the mortar.
Yeah,
Different houses structured different ways, streets bigger than the other one, back alleyways, this, that, and another. But being a youth, because I was a youth that was raised in the streets. Mom, fair time, dad, TDC. Uh, but what I'm resonating with you more of is you had a energy of liking that older cats that I had older cats pulled to the side like, okay, that little dude, he can go, but him right there, that's the one. I need to pull him over here and talk to him a little bit, show him how I go, and I know he ain't gonna be reckless with it,
yeah,
and you wasn't a reckless child, you wasn't like braggadocious, like they say on the East, wasn't braggadocious, wasn't bragging anything. It seemed when you hit the streets and you learn what you need to learn, you handle your business.
yeah,
And
definitely.
by you doing that, and then by you doing that and coming and sitting right here at the podcast, Jess Talks and Busted Nuts,
Let's go.
your journey and your is that all that you've been through. Now you got the book, you got the movie, you got the clothing line, your story to be told amongst millions that it translated. Everything that we do in life can't translate, but the energy translated as you got
Mhm.
grown, even though it was some pitfalls here and now, but you learned and you turned that learning and them lessons into money.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Yeah, or
turned it into
blessings, so to say. We
Mhm.
turned them lessons into blessings,
Yeah.
man. And yeah, and that's the thing, like they say, it ain't where you from, is where you at, So that's the universal currency that we have, that, even though we not in the same proximity, however, the issues are still relatable.
Right.
yeah.
And so I have a question. I have a question. Sorry about that, Kinfolk. I do have a question. So is it's a part in the book that I really want you to put some light on
Okay.
for me
Okay.
because again I met you. So I met him a year ago, y'all. Met this man a whole year ago in the airport. He's sitting there, the biggest, the largest. This man is he's sitting here. He don't look that big sitting down, but he's really big. He's like 7 feet. But
On a
and
good day. On a good day.
and I'm short. I'm 5'2". So I'm like, I see him sitting there and I'm always having my electronics and I need to charge my phone. And so I'm like, man, why am I gonna charge his phone at? And he's sitting, y'all, literally all the charges is the where he is sitting at. So I'm like, I was like, man, I need to charge my stuff. He looking at me like, I mean, you can charge your stuff. But it was just the interaction was just really just y'all know me. I'm just gonna be just always. And so if we start talking and I'm on the computer doing my things, y'all, because y'all know I'm doing the things, And he was like, "Oh, what you got going on? What you doing?" And so we share what kind of business we have, y'all, and it went from there. And he supported me, and I supported him through this process. And so to be able to have him here, I just want to tell you, thank you. I
I
believe in giving
appreciate
people their flowers. The people know I'm gonna say it every time. I thank you for coming. We appreciate you from coming from. Well, you was in Atlanta at the time,
it.
right?
Yeah.
So coming from Atlanta, coming to Houston, we thank you. So y'all, the people come to Jess Talks from all over, okay? Or we'll come to
Much
you,
love.
whichever one. But it was a part in the book that stood out to me, and I feel like you need to share that because so many people or black men get looked at like they don't take care of their family, and you share in that book step by step how you grew up, then how you end up being such a interacting father, even with your lack of having one. And so, how did you translate that from that? I guess, like you said, turning the mess into a blessing,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
So,
And just starting off when and what I didn't want, as long as you start in the area which you don't want and that you don't want to perpetuate and have your children have to relive it is the I think the first step as a parent. We can it's easily to, give them what it is that you have, but at the time all I had was a pot and some baking soda.
right.
So I knew I didn't want to leave my boys with that. And so through life and the different layers, I just had to continue on evolving and improving myself. So after college, well, not after college, I was in a situation where I had dropped a course that was like 4 credits, and it affected my financial aid. So at the time, I had an uncle that passed away, and when I went to the funeral, my younger cousin, all the family was at the funeral, but he introduced me to music. He was like, I'm making beats. I'm out of Atlanta. I learned how to make beats under Swiss, so on and so forth. But I'm like, yo, bro, I'm on the run. I've been on the run for like 4.5 years now. Like, I'm not trying to be, compromising myself. And now I had aspirations of being a doctor.
Yeah.
However, in hindsight, I knew I still would have to deal with the consequences of me being on a run. So, I believe once I had to sit out a semester and write a appeal or whatever in order to get my financial aid reinstated, the music started picking up. However, I think we was going to I'm not certain if you remember Gerald Levert.
Yes.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we
This
was on a
guy.
meeting. We was going to a meeting, a production meeting to meet Jill Levert. And this is the time when he had broke Trey Songz, when Trey Songz had the song in the barbershop. I forget what that song was. However,
Gotta make
yeah,
Oh,
gotta make it. Exactly. So we just get finished getting something to eat. And when I pulled out the parking spot, I didn't turn the lights on immediately because we was eating in the car and the windows was all fogged up from the hot fish that we was eating. So yeah, we off of Germantown Avenue. So I goes to pull out, but the cops was coming up and I don't know why they decided to do a U-turn, but before we can get to this meeting, uh the cop lights were behind me, and yeah, once they put them cuffs on, I didn't come home till about I would say about a good 2 3 years after.
okay.
Yeah.
So you stop. So that was the end of you being on the run.
Yep.
That arrest right there.
Yep. That arrest right there had stopped everything. So, and it was crazy because I felt if I would have went to jail from the streets, it would have been more easier to transition. However, when you in college, is that street credibility don't translate, so you got
right.
to drop all that. So now here it is. I'm almost a nerd. My GPA was about a 2.5 because I don't know how to read books, especially that thick, and being able to pause, but being able to retain the information, because each answer in a test question in college is like a paragraph.
Right.
So you got to go through the five different
Yeah. Make
paragraphs.
sure you sign it. I already
Exactly.
know.
So it was
You gotta
like
tell me.
I would leave on a with me being on a run. I would leave on a Thursday, not come back to school to a Tuesday.
Yeah.
So once the dean called me in the office, and it's crazy because I always connect with in any situation the higher up, so to say.
Favor.
God is good because
Yeah.
once he noticed that I was dropping out, but before he became the dean, he was the professor of psychology, and like I said, I majored in psychology. So he was like, Willoughby, what I'm gonna do is, you're on academic probation, but the only probation I know is the real probation with the law. So I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm on probation. How does this translate? So he was like, well, if you don't bring your GPA up, we're gonna send you home. So I'm like, oh man, bet. So I called home and asked my mom, was the bounty hunter still coming for me at the house? She said that yeah, they still coming by, but they don't come in no more. Cause before, they come to your house 3, 4 in the morning and they want to do a walkthrough of your house and the neighbor house
Right.
just to make sure you ain't hiding. So through that, once she told me that they were still coming by, I had to sit down and I had to start getting with upperclassmen and start figuring out how to retain the information that I was reading and being able to transition it to my grades to improve them.
Yeah. You was out there networking.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it's so crazy
Yeah.
because
Tutors.
That's it.
exactly.
That's it.
I had met one guy, his name was Jack, but his real name is Mikael Bridges, and his son is part of the New York Knicks that just won the championship. And he was the first guy that, being an elder class, yeah, yeah,
Class.
classman. Um,
Yeah.
he helped me, find the resources and, be able to get on a schedule to be able to help with the transition.
Yeah.
So I appreciate him for that.
Oh, that's what's up. And so, out of all the things that you have worked through, because you worked through these things, because you're sitting here with us now, what was the biggest situation for you mentally that you had to overcome before you can get to who you are now?
Hmm, that's a good one. Well, for me, I was always the anchor of my family. Like even though I was the youngest, and even while I had to endure these different transitions and trial, I still had to like send the money home to my mom. It was like I know, she didn't have that support of having me right there to be able to have access to, some of my gains. And I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not trying to glorify a lot of stuff, but my past is what basically helped me transition to my future because college is expensive,
Yeah.
and if you ain't got nobody to help you with financing it, and God is good because I had my grandmother at the time. However,
Man for grandma.
yeah, that's always been my number one. However, it was I got introduced. Well, being as though I was on the run, I still had that mystique. So as I'm transitioning to Indiana University of Pennsylvania, which is in the mountains, um, the work
Right.
went for a little bit more up there than it did back home. So
Hey, go. Hey,
uh,
go on, let them know it was inflation time. It was
yeah,
inflation.
it was back home. I'm from Philly, but I was going to New York to get my work. So it was cheaper work, better quality, and in the streets of Philly, it was like $50 a gram. But when I transitioned to college and then got introduced from a classmate, he doing Fed time right now, by the way.
Yeah.
He introduced me into the trailer parks, and I didn't know, the trailer parks was like 200 a gram.
Yeah.
So it tripled,
Everybody knew
quadrupled.
the parks was
So
the gold mine.
Yeah, bro. It was like we was turning like 4.5 to a brick. So, you figure you do that enough times. I mean, are we now studying anymore? Because now we got the money coming in. We then took over. I then implied that like I'm from Philly, so JBM had get down to lay down. So for me,
Yeah.
I'm in a university, whereas of course it's other kind like me there, but I would say wasn't like Jess said. My formidable size and strength had me to be a threat by just sight. So those that didn't have to endure what I had to endure and that could call home and get money from their mom and dad, them guys couldn't hustle, man, because you in my way.
Yeah.
I ain't got them access to be able to call nobody. If it ain't work, it was just broke.
Yeah.
Right. And see, that's another challenge on the other side of the coin. Because you've been approached. You got to get your GPA up. But in our minds, in the back of our minds, is home. HOME. HOME is mama. It's light bill. It's water. It's food. Somebody might, come and show us up. Plus, we have to take care of ourselves
Right.
in that situation too. And like I say, those trailer parks that you mentioned, that was the new block.
Yeah,
That was the new foot.
yeah,
IUPU. It may have been in the mountains, but the mountains were serving.
yeah. Yes, they were. So sometimes I had to ask God, like, are you tempting me by putting me in these places, knowing my backstory? Because I'm trying to change over a different leaf. But yeah, nevertheless, I was just able to connect the dots, like you were saying, from all those different experiences. I never really had to walk away from them. I just took the good from them, with being a common denominator within those different situations, and realizing that if it's change gonna come, it's gonna have to start with me.
Yes. Nothing
Yeah.
changes if nothing changes.
Yeah, yeah,
That goes for the kids and your kids and everything, such as, just with my niece and nephew, with my kids, and even as we get older, things still resonate and sit with us that
Yes.
if I always tell my partners, if you ain't right, ain't nothing around you gonna be right, basically.
Nothing.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Anything that you attach to is not gonna go right
It's not gonna go
if
right.
you're not right.
Right.
We speaking mentally, spiritually. We speaking on all the different levels that we face in humanity, and still trying to push forward a positive narrative in our life.
Yeah.
yeah. And definitely my two boys are the recipients of that. My
Amen.
oldest is in Bethune Cookman, star basketball player, point guard, and my youngest is
Okay.
In Oakland at a JUCO now, getting his strength up, playing basketball as well. So
Amen.
through the time that's invested, I was explained that it take about 250,000 to raise a child in America,
Yes.
and that is definitely true. And I preferred to pay it on the front end with the AAUs, the flights, the hotels, and all that, than to give it to a lawyer. And
Right.
now we haven't been able to break the generational curse.
Yeah.
So the great thing is none of my boys had to experience a courthouse, handcuffs, none of that. So
Amen.
God is good.
It's the lesson.
Yeah.
It's the lesson of the.
And so,
So get more. We still on the book, just because
yeah, we
okay, because I learned the new word I want to use.
come on.
I'm just want to say I'm enamored by the movie.
Yeah, come on.
Kim, she's enamored by the book. I'm enamored by the movie.
And see, I ain't even checked out the clips yet because I was so hung up on the book. So we're gonna have to swap it
See,
out.
I saw the book. I said, 302. I said, but I know this for real. So let me
Yeah.
let me go over here to this into
Yeah.
this movie. and
Yeah.
I know what's up there. And that the movie man is relatable from the clips. Uh, it would draw your viewers in. You know, everybody get on it like all the hood movies. But I just want to ask you, what outlets are you promoting? Pull it out, putting out independently. You know, you got the Tubi route, you got other routes. You know, Boosie has a movie thing also that you can get with him about. What is your vision for your movie?
Well, like I say, a lot of my projects are autobiographical or semi-autobiographical. So even in relation to the scenes that you had saw in the trailer, Night, the Game's Alive, that's the point in my life where I transitioned from juvenile detention back into public school. So that's the hook within that, with just letting the viewers know that um you don't have to accept what society gives you, despite your start. You know, it's how you perceive yourself and the things that, as long as they are in alignment, you feel worthy of.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted, I was, like I said, I was living a reckless life. I definitely wanted to leave something for my boys to reflect on for they from their dad, that didn't consist of a scale, baking soda, and a pot and a fork.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, it's either, and Philly and North Philly to be exact. Sometimes your days are numbered. And at the time when
Right.
I had transitioned into this, I had bought my first house out in New Jersey, uh pretty nice size of a football field. I bought it off a mobster. I ain't gonna say his name, but it was like, no matter what I tried to do to, like, try to cleanse my association, it was like I just started running across the same type of patterns, so to say.
Yeah.
The faces may have changed, but the backstories of the people that I'm dealing with is still the same.
Yeah.
So I don't even know, bro. But yeah, a lot of prayer, man. A lot of prayer and feeling worthy of it.
Yeah.
Like I say, when my older brother, he had his father. So to see the bags get brought in the house during Christmas and back to school clothes and all that, and I'm looking at the door, ain't nobody bringing me nothing. Like that can kill you, as at a young age. So it was like we either going to become frustrated and pout about it, or we going to do something and go a different route about it.
Yeah.
So the great thing was, for me, I took a different route about it because the reiterate, I forget which one of you guys asked, the family being associated with my mother
Okay.
and her shortcomings.
Yeah.
Once they did 302 her, well, the first time they 302'd her, I think I was about 10 years old or so. But it was like they had us come live with them while my mom, because I believe when you get 302, you got to do like 20 days or like 30 days under hospital care for review. And that time they had us living with them. But like I was saying, I really didn't identify with my family to that extent.
So who is the them?
My family,
Yeah.
cousins,
Okay. Oh,
aunts,
just kind.
yeah, the
Yeah.
cousins, the aunts. Not really no uncles. I had one uncle, but which I have his middle name, but he had passed.
He
Um,
talked about that in the book. So
yeah,
y'all got to
violently.
get the
I
book.
think they shot him up about, like, after getting him high off dope. They shot him up about like 30 something times. But he was notorious. So yeah, he was notorious. From the stories that I hear, he was taking stuff from everybody. It didn't matter who you were.
Yeah.
So I know I didn't want to perpetuate that. Even though I was named after him, I didn't want to perpetuate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a stigma that comes with names. People
Huh.
don't understand.
Yes.
it's a real stigma come because sometimes your name will be heard before anybody meets
Come
you.
on.
Definitely,
Come
You know,
on.
and
definitely.
I say like for my dad, my dad name was Ricky. So coming up, I was always Lil Rick.
Hmm.
And then as I got older. There older people who knew your people. They'll ask, "Hey, you such and such son? It's such and such your grandma." They
Yeah.
make the relation. Oh, your mom name is. Your brother, your older brother, older sister name was. I went to school with. It has a stigma. So the stigma is, however they live their life,
Mm-hmm.
travels back down to you through your
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They say the sons inherit the how does it go? The sons inherit the debt of their fathers.
Right.
Fathers, yeah. And see, that's street scripture, and it can be spiritual scripture.
Right.
Yeah.
What's in the name of where Yah and where Yah gave to us in the name of Yeshua and what we believe under that, and Allah and so forth and so on
Yeah.
whatever we believe what's in their name. So I credit you for having the wherewithal to clean up the name, your name.
That.
Going on for when you see it in your loins, with your boys, like, hey man, this has to be a stopping point, not only a stopping point, so I have to pull these roots up.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I have to plant another seed that's better because I want to see better and know better of what's growing that I planted.
Right.
If you understand that.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. And that don't even come easy because uh they already view you in a certain light,
Right.
so when
Yeah.
you decide to pivot and go a different route, especially that's nobody else in the family has done,
Mm-hmm.
so it becomes unrelatable, and now they start to perceive you as out there crazy. You get all the titles until you actually make it happen,
Yeah.
and then when you make it happen, boy, I always knew it was gonna be you.
Come on.
You that
But
you that one.
one of my mentors told me nobody cares about your plans, about your startup. All they care about is how you finished it. They
Yeah.
don't care about none of that. Man, when are you gonna do it? Or how did you do it? Or show me if you can't show somebody else how to make happen what you made happen, you ain't made nothing happen.
And unfortunately, that may be
You
true.
know?
But I mean, for me, it's just about being in alignment and doing what, what's it spiritually connected to you.
Hmm.
I mean, even though I lived a dark life, spiritually, I thank God for protecting me and not allowing me to become me.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm sort of like a Robin Hood. I did all the wrong things for the right reasons. It wasn't like, after
Yeah,
I met my quarter, I was still trying to be that guy. Like, no, once I got comfortable and okay, I got enough. The lights ain't getting cut off. We got enough sneakers, clothes, bills paid, food in the refrigerator. That was enough for me at that point.
Yeah. And so I can't let you leave. Look, I can't let him leave without him saying this, y'all, because he keep trying to go around what I asked him, and I'm not gonna allow it. You're not gonna do this to me.
go ahead.
Tell these people, because this is what y'all know. I'm gonna ask the questions that the people don't want to answer, and I'm fine with that. Tell the people what you overcame at the end of this book.
Oh, well, there's several chapters in the book 302, and this was my first project. I never had formal training or education in book writing or fashion, so it was just I knew I didn't want to leave a legacy turmoil. So, in relation to the book, it definitely was sensitive for me to be so transparent. However, it became therapeutic for me to allow others in to
Yes,
be able to learn from, some of my mishaps. Um, what was the question? What was
because you
the
You,
just
yeah, I gotta
just
watch him. He always try to do this to me. You know what I asked you.
well,
So the last
He got
oh,
page
oh,
of
okay,
this
okay,
book,
okay, okay. I'm with you. The book takes a
This
lot of turns. However, a month visiting my mother in the hospital because I'm the one that had to get a 302. So I really felt like a rat, but needing to do that. It was like you want me to once I because I was a caregiver at the time, so I would take her to her different meetings with the doctors and things of that nature. And one time the doctor asked me to sit in for one of the interview or one of the sessions, and the things that I was introduced to from that session was overwhelming because I didn't know the mental challenges she was dealing with on a daily basis. So it would have did more harm to allow it to keep going than step in and regardless of the life that I live, feeling like you a snitch or not, or you're doing something that involved the police. So the doctor
Yeah.
ended up telling me that, really the only way to get the help that she needed was to get a 302, and then that way they can get her on a medication, so on and so forth. So me feeling guilty, and then this is at the time I'm a real estate investor. I'm buying houses, rehabbing them, flipping them, and well, when I went to go visit her, even though we had a dark past, or I had a dark past, in my mother's eyes, it was always light. So she would speak to others about me before I had a chance to know who they were. So when I went to visit her one day, and I'm always a giving person, so me visiting my mom, I came to find out the things that she can have, the belongings, the food and stuff. So what I end up doing, and I don't know if it was guilt or just my heart, I ended up buying KFC for the whole floor. Because I seen other people going through some of the same things, and they didn't have nobody visiting them. So I didn't want to, just bring my mom stuff and everybody staring at her. So through my giving and I guess people observing my personality, one of the doctors or one of the nurses befriended me. And through that, once I didn't want to, like I said, I was dealing with a lot at the time. I'm dealing with my mom, I'm dealing with my family, I'm dealing with the streets, I'm dealing with my identity. Um, she she came across as if she liked me or she wanted to, create a relationship with me. So I didn't
Yeah.
know the things that were to exist after the 302 happened. Like, okay, is it resources or different places that can help me understand the best way to help her? And she would see me come up there to visit my mother, and I would have like paint and compound and stuff, debris on me, on my hands, on my clothes, or whatever. So she said that if I showed her how to get investment properties, because a lot of the patients, upon their release, they don't have a house to go to. Their family turned their backs on them. So
Right.
I felt like, okay, well, you helping me with the 302 and the doctor background, so on and so forth. I can help you with the property, buying them distressed, going to auctions, getting them zoned, or whatever the case may be. But through that, the hidden agenda was that, she wanted more out of me than that. And once I wasn't willing to reciprocate that, yeah, once I wasn't trying to reciprocate that, she found the need to create up a story that said that I raped her. So in the book 302, the subtitle is that uh wow, it's been a while since I been digging in the crates, but helping his mother cope with her mental disorder, he is befriended by a nurse that accuses him of rape. He must have another sexual encounter with his accuser to prove his innocence. So I was in a
come
sticky
on.
situation because yeah, yeah, because yeah, this was a story that was created out of larceny, so to say. Like, how you jealous because I have a family? And then at this time, my mother, I wasn't certain what information she was telling this nurse, so on and so forth. But at this time, I bought a house off of DJ Jazzy Jeff. I'm not certain if, well, you should know DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's
Um,
actually one of the sponsors for this radio station, KRB
wow.
99.9.
Yeah.
Let's
So
go.
that's love. So yeah, so I end up buying his house, and once my mother came home, I didn't want to have her live by herself, so I brought her up to my house, which was more than enough room because we know it was over 5,000 square feet. So being from the hood and the projects, we definitely can cut you a sliver off of this. So
It's okay.
yeah, and I guess she was doing a follow up with my mother on a FaceTime and seeing the environment that my mother was in. So once she seen the home and all that, I guess her motives became a little bit more enticing with trying to,
Look,
get me to be with her as opposed to me staying with my family.
look, and so on that note, y'all know every time it get good, that's when it's ending. So look, y'all, we love y'all. We thank y'all, KRV. Thank you always for allowing us to be on this podcast, on this platform, on this radio station. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, all of y'all. Thank y'all. We love y'all. Look, y'all, it's Jess and Jess Talks, and we have Mr. Seneca with Billionaire Cloth. Y'all check him out, tap in. Go get the book 302. It is on Amazon. It's about to be on all of the things very soon. So y'all tap in. We love y'all. Be blessed. It's Jess. Come on. And remember, y'all, when you look good, you feel good.
AGDFEV and Busting Us Podcast. One question to ask you, KRB, and all the listeners. Have you busted your nut lately?
Definitely dope having you guys have me, and I appreciate the love. Definitely been a pleasure, and I look to return soon.
Amen. All right. Thank you. See y'all.